Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris Hammer here with Better. Just want to check in a little bit. It's been a slow week, and we've had a 5-game max bet win streak. So we're just trying to be more like a sniper and wait for our opportunity rather than force it and bet too much and lose money trying to chase action here. So I'm here live in Florida, beautiful, almost sunset here. Perfect time of the year. It's about 85 degrees, sunny almost every single day. March Madness is in swing. We got the Sweet 16. We've done fairly well. The last 2 big plays we hit were Arkansas and Auburn. Those were both max bets. Really not pushing the issue tonight. There's one play I like. I will give it out for free at the end of this video. And then I've got one kind of a lean. It's more of just a trend that I've noticed with the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm still not a big fan of the NBA and betting on the NBA, but we don't have that much. I'm very excited about MLB. That was my most profitable sport last year, believe it or not. So did almost $500,000 on MLB. If we can do it again, I'll be one happy guy come October. So that is my goal. Out the gate, we're not going to be slamming stuff. I think a lot of the popular teams, favorites and overs are going to cash, but week 1, maybe even week 2, I'm just going to observe, sit back and gather some data just so we don't get killed early on. Also just trying to accumulate as much funds to put into the betting markets as possible. Also, it would be nice if cryptocurrency would just do its thing and pop. It's been a long time coming on that. So, but yeah, just kind of laying back, laying low, and sniping games. So I actually like how calm and relaxed and cool we have been, not forcing action. It's tough to do. It's exercising discipline. And that's important because I'm a guy that I wouldn't say I bet every single day, but I bet most days of the week or give out plays almost every day. I'll pass from time to time, but I'm kind of graduating into that position where you don't need to bet every day. And the amount that I wager is normally about five grand on a max bet, sometimes 10 grand. If you're betting that kind of money, 5 dimes, 10 dimes, you really don't need to be betting every day. It's just not wise. So I'm really trying to pick my spots. I'm waiting for, information overlap instead of information overload. And, when I like a game and a few other people that I trust likes the game, like my agent sources, or some of my guys here, or some of my guys in New York, when there's a lot of overlap on a certain game, maybe it's like a prime time spot, public fade. That's where I want to unload. So I did a really good job last year of being extremely disciplined, especially on max bets. I had 2 weeks in October. 1 week I made 52,000. The other week I made 54,000. So I want to repeat that. And I was just kind of analyzing myself, and you just got to tone it down a bit. Like, pick your spots. Once you have absolute 100% conviction on the game, then you can fire and unload and dump. But don't just bet to bet, or don't just log into your apps and be like, hey, I like this, or this is the only game I like tonight. Feel free to take a day off, take 2 days off, 3 days off, and it just depends on your style. So I get asked this all the time. There's a guy in my building asking me about bankroll building, and he's doing 5-team parlays, and that's okay if you're just trying to go from small chips to big chips. But my picks and my strategies are more for people that want to bet 500 a game, who have a couple grand minimum, who are trying to get into that 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 a game type of players. If you're wanting to get to that level, I'm the guy for you. Especially if you've got even more than that. I got a few clients and players that bet even heavier than I do. I'm a really good person to talk to when it comes to betting big and hammering certain games. That's ultimately my specialty, because I got interviewed a week or two ago by a gentleman from the New York Times, and he was asking me about win rate and such, but he's not a gambler or a sports bettor. And, you know, he was questioning me or asking me about my win rate on, we'll just say, Max Bets. So I had a really good streak with Max Bets, but I was letting him know that it was, you know, like everyone gets hot, everyone gets cold. And I had a good run of like a year and a half of like 70% of Max Bet winners. You guys have seen it, you're a part of it. But what I told him is it's just a small window of data. So there's times where if you clock to like my average plays, they're nowhere near 70%. And I was trying to get them off of win rate and win percentage, because a lot of times people don't factor in the VIG, aka the juice. Like if you're laying minus 150s, minus 160s, minus 180s, like your win rate has to be like 80% for you to even profit, because you're damn near laying 2 to 1 just to get, you know, you're damn near laying like $2,000 to win $1,000 if it's a minus 200. So you gotta win 80%, because when you lose, you're losing twice the amount. So more importantly, I would say units are more important than win rate. And then also, I strive for damn near even money, like minus 105, minus 110, minus 120, because I am sensitive of losing that amount of VIG. And what I've noticed is, even if you bet what would be considered safer, I really don't think the odds or the juice helps or hurts you, because I've seen minus 400 money line losers every day, all the time. That's what I call like a typical trap line. So I think like overall the points, the spread, the VIG, even on money line, it's all to play mind games and fool you, because I've seen everything. I've seen like 10-point underdogs win. I've seen like 15, 18, 19, 20-point underdogs win. So like all of that stuff, I feel like just is to give you fake trends, and it's to give you like almost like a little bit of a mind fuckery. So you got to be careful if you're a handicapper, or you like to bet on sports and you look at odds and you only bet certain odds. I'd strongly recommend not doing it that way, because those trends, they just they play games with you. Like one day a minus 130 might win at home, next day it loses, or vice versa. So like just because you see a certain line, even I'm telling you that a typical trap line is minus 400, I see that because I've seen that perfect pattern play out many times. Like I've seen minus 400s lose all the time for years and years. So it's not every time, but I would stay away from that, because I just think it's a trappy line. Like anything, I would say over minus 200 or 250 even, like there's not much more of a money line. Like hear me out and really like listen and grasp to what I'm saying here. What is the difference between a minus 250 money line and like a minus 1,000, or when they get really stupid, like minus 1,300? I made the mistake of putting like a minus 1,300, and I remember the game. I believe it was Texas Tech, and they were playing somebody really, really shitty, and they're like 17, 18-point favorites. They're like minus 300 money line, and it was on a parlay, and I just did it to like reduce the juice and the odds barely. It barely did anything for me. In fact, it was more of risk and too much motion, as I would call it, on a parlay. They went into like double or triple overtime and barely won, and I risked my whole parlay off of that stupid pick. Everything else hit easily, and I'm over here sweating a 20-point favorite that's minus 1,300 to win. I will never do that again. That also happened to me in the NBA on a couple parlays and tickets as well. So don't bet heavy favorites, especially on parlays. Like they're gonna really piss you off. You're still gonna have to sweat them out, and they're not free cheese. Like they're not easy money like you might think. So definitely stay away from those. I know a lot of people like to parlay, and all my parlay people, I wouldn't do a parlay money line that was greater than minus 250. Why? You want to get good odds. So there's no difference. A lot of times people they get obsessed with picking the favorites. You know, a minus 250 favorite is about as heavy as you need to go. You know, mix in an underdog, like get your odds up. Look at the actual matchups themselves and who can win or lose. Like, take the point spread and take the money line out of it, and like analyze the two teams that are playing. And you know, a lot of people will emphasize home court, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but I'm just trying to help you guys out with parlay odds, and then also not killing yourself on a parlay, and also just not killing yourself with juice. But let's talk about tonight's slate. There's not a whole heck of a lot that I like. I am putting up my 5-game max bet win streak to the test. I'll give you the warm-up game first. I like the New York Knicks at home, and here's why. The Clippers have been dynamite. They've covered like 4 or 5 of their last 5 games. They have been killing it at home. They are dominant at home, and they cover at home. However, they're not the greatest on the road. It's a time zone change, lots of travel. I feel like Knicks might even win outright, but I like them at home plus the points. So, you know, there's a reason that they're the best home team against the spread, but overall, they're not that good on the road to cover the spread. So maybe they win, but they don't cover here at worst. But I like the Knicks and the points tonight. And then my free play max bet here. There's a lot of action with March Madness and MLB coming, so I'm just kind of pacing myself. But I am going to jump and dive in the NBA and put my winning streak to the test. I like Indiana Pacers at home. They're pretty much an auto bet for me. I like a money line. The line is short versus the Lakers, and the Lakers are so wishy-washy. You know, they're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. They're very high dramatic. I think the Pacers not only are on a nice little win streak, they've won like 4 or 5 in a row, or maybe even it was 7 out of 10, something like that, 8 out of 10, but all at home as well. They're a very good home team, and a lot of times even with plus money odds. So these guys, for whatever reason, the Indiana Pacers are a way different and better team at home. My opinion is they kind of suck on the road. The only time I bet on the Pacers is at home. Let's see here. Also, I don't think this game has a whole lot of impact. If the Lakers win or lose, you know, they're already going to make it to the playoffs, so there's not a whole lot of motivation here. And I feel like the media likes to either like really overhype the Lakers, or they also will really criticize them. So if they lose, they'll get slaughtered in the media. If they win, you know, they're gonna glaze them extra hard, like Krispy Kreme donut glazing. But there's always a lot of controversy and a lot of media with coverage on the Lakers. But I just feel like a lot of people are going to auto bet them, and I feel like the Pacers can easily beat them. So that's my free pick of the night. I'm leaning Knicks in the points. If you're going to take them at like +5, maybe for a unit. My max bet streak 5 in a row. We're going to put Indiana Pacers money line to the test at home. I just like the value there. Even money, I feel like most people would bet Lakers. So I think it's a good bet. And it should be a public fade on prime time with a good team at home who covers and wins at home. So that's my angle there. We'll see if it cashes. If you guys want to take your betting to the next level, I strongly encourage you to put a few $1,000s minimum to the side. Hop on a bare minimum, my monthly package. You can go to betterbetter.com. That is BETTER.com, or look at me up on Instagram at HighLimitHammer, and in my profile there is a link to my dub club where you can get my max bet plays, which I highly recommend if you're a high roller, or get my monthly plays bare minimum if you've got a couple grand to play with. Other than that, best of luck, and we'll see MLB season here very shortly, and we're gonna try to do another half a ticket run. So good luck, talk soon.